Hey guys, welcome back to Point of View right here on the Stylistic Sundays Series. I am Malik Thompson and today we are going to be talking about Jamaican current affairs. We're taking it right back here to the land of wood and water. We're going to be talking about something that happened in the Jamaican Parliament on Tuesday, March 19th. So you may or may not have heard that the government members of parliament, led by Prime Minister Andrew Holness, actually walked out during opposition leader Mark Golding's contribution to the 2024-2025 budget debate. Now, as I said, the video of what happened was actually all over social media and in the news. But if you did not know what happened, what caused the walkout was that Mark Golding was criticizing the appointment of Juliet Holness as Speaker of the House of Representatives. And of course, Juliet Holness, is the wife of Prime Minister Andrew Holness. So he was basically saying that it does not look good. And Golding said that Holness allowed his emotions to determine his actions, which led to the whole walkout. Now, I have some comments on everything that took place in that parliament sitting. And first thing I just want to say that it was not a good look to see our government, our leaders behaving in a way that resembles children. And I'm not just referring to them walking out of parliament, I'm actually referring to everything else that happened. So if you saw the video, you'd have seen that yes, some MPs actually walked out of the parliament, but then there were some that when they walked out, they returned to the chamber and they started engaging with the opposition verbal exchange. And I thought to myself that that just did not look good. Now, parliament walkouts are nothing new. Just last year, there was a situation where a comment was made by the Minister of Finance which triggered a walkout of parliament by the opposition members. But I believe that the government is held or should be held to a higher level of conduct. And so such actions by the government, including how the walkout took place, it just did not look good. I recall one user on X saying that our politics needs to mature. Now, my next point, I just want to say that the whole concern raised by Mark Golding around this thing, I believe that it is valid, but it came at the wrong time. Many people commented after Mark Golding, they were saying that he said what was on the minds of all Jamaican people. As I said, I agree with what he said. The optics of the Speaker of the House being the Prime Minister's wife, it just does not look good. And it can suggest a higher level of partiality. And why I say higher is because the Speaker of the House has always come from the governing side, from the governing party. So of course there is going to be some level of partiality, but with the Speaker being the Prime Minister's wife, it just brings things to a higher level. However, my thing is that she has been the House Speaker since September last year. Why did the opposition leader wait until now, approximately 6 months later, to raise this concern? Especially when the discussion for Parliament was supposed to be about the national budget. It was said that Golding was 2 hours into his speech when Parliament erupted. But I believe that more time could have been used to speak on the actual matter at hand, especially because the public were in eager anticipation as to how the PNP would fund their $3 million income tax threshold solution. And as it happened, the public are still left without an answer. So I'm going to say that at this time, what Mark Golding did, it only looked like a case of scoring points for the PNP. And my final point. When Mrs. Holness was appointed as Deputy House Speaker in 2020, I don't remember the uproar being to this great a magnitude. Of course, there are going to be people with reservations about the whole thing, but I don't remember the opposition being this riled up about this whole thing, the Prime Minister's wife as the House Speaker or Deputy House Speaker. And when the PNP was calling on Marisa Dalrymple Philibert, who was a former House Speaker, to resign, who did they expect would take up the vacant position as House Speaker, especially if there is a deputy? By default, the deputy would take up the position if they are able to. And furthermore, when Mrs. Holness was nominated in September, the nomination was seconded by the opposition. No one from the opposition stood up to express concerns then. So why exactly the sudden hypocrisy? Hypocrisy now. As I conclude, I just want to say that both sides were wrong in their own right for what took place in Parliament on Tuesday. But just as the user on X said, Jamaican politics does need some more maturity. But unfortunately, that's all the time we have for today. I will see you guys next week, same time and same place for what will be actually our final episode of Point of View as part of the Stylistic Sundays series. But until next time, I am Malik Thompson and enjoy the rest of your evening.